Welcome to Square Cut Show. I am Alpha Jeremiah, and across the nation is a cricketer residing in Gaborone and born in Botswana. You have been asking for him. He is finally here, the one and only Karabo, Motlhanka on Square Cut Show. What's up, hope? Welcome, Karabo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ah,
Always happy to have a chat, obviously, all things cricket.
oh, nice, nice, nice. How is UK? Because we talked about your flight yesterday, going to the UK. So, how is UK so far? I know it's your first night in the UK. So, tell me, how is it there?
So far, it's a bit chilly, but I've had a very warm welcome from the guys at the club. They took me out for dinner, some Italian yesterday. That was very nice, welcoming. They gave me my new kit and everything. My first night here. It's a bit chilly, but at home it was just about getting to winter, so I'll be fine.
Oh, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me hope you're enjoying. Actually, I would like you to enjoy the UK, but one day we shall be there and also doing the same, brother.
Of course, man.
Okay, so who is Karabo? You mind telling us about yourself, brother?
Yes, my name is Karabo Motlhanka. I am Botswana's national team captain for cricket. I was born and raised in Gaborone, Botswana. I come from a place called Kanye, which is maybe about an hour outside Gaborone.
Okay.
So I've grown up there my whole life. I went to school in Gaborone. And yeah, if you want, you can call me Gaborone a city boy if you like, even though I do frequent the farm quite a bit. But yeah, that's a short background on my background. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice to hear that, brother. So I've been told there are some games you were playing before joining cricket. Could you mind telling us about those games?
Yes, I mean, if you like, I've always played cricket, but one game that was always close to my heart was football. In fact, I like to tell people that football is my favorite sport. It shocks a few people. I also played softball quite a bit, and then uh, I dabbled in a few. I played a little bit of rugby once I got to high school, but I didn't last long because mostly I left other sports because of my cricket commitments. Cricket allowed me to play for my country a lot sooner. I started playing cricket for Botswana in the under 15. So around that time, that's when I started to
Yeah.
put the other sports on the back burner.
Oh, okay. So now we go to the journey of cricket. When did you start playing the game of cricket, brother?
I started playing cricket when I was in primary school, so around the age of maybe 7 or 8 years old. So I come from a long way with the sport. So it was actually funny that one random afternoon in primary school, I saw some guys carrying some stumps and a bat, and those were things I recognized from TV because I used to watch cricket and I was intrigued by what I saw on the TV. And then once I saw people carrying stumps and stuff, I just followed them to the sports ground and yeah, that's where it started that one day. And to be honest, I never stopped since.
Since then.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
I think you must have been inspired a lot. So I would like to find out what really inspired you to play the game of cricket and who is that person who inspired you?
and to come across the cricket channels, and it happened to be that time around the '99 World Cup where Australia were playing South Africa. So I think that was one of the very first cricket matches that I played. That famous South Africa and Australia game that went to the last over that South Africa lost the semi-final. So that those are my earliest memories, and from then I became a Proteas follower. So those South Africa games are the ones that were being shown on TV. And yeah, from then I used to have some fights with my family over watching cricket on the TV. And yeah, they'll gladly tell you those stories that yeah, I used to really try and wrestle the remote from my sister and my mom and my dad. Well, he wasn't bothered because he liked sports. So yeah, that's where I really like that Proteas team because obviously South Africa is close to home. So yeah, I really started picking up the game from there.
Okay. All right. So before joining the national team, what clubs were you playing for in Botswana?
Before joining the national team, I we actually formed a club with some of my age mates. It was called Young Guns. We had a coach from Sri Lanka who was living in Botswana at the time, Mr. Upali, and he formed the club. It was called Young Guns. So a bunch of boys in our teenage years, 13, 14. And from there, that's where we got selected for Botswana under 15s. And that was my first time representing the country. So that was the very first club. It was enjoyable because obviously I had my age mates around me and it was a lot of fun. We were playing in the men's league. Yeah, so that's what really started the journey.
Okay. Wow. So what was that moment, as in like that moment when you guys got onto the first plane to go and play for Botswana, whatever age bracket it was?
Yes, it was under 15s in Botswana. I think it was around 2007,
Yeah.
where we had visiting Southern African teams from what I remember. It was Namibia, Lesotho, and Swaziland. And I think narrowly lost the final to Namibia at the time, if I remember. That was my very first tournament representing Botswana. And then from there, it was under 15s. I think after that under 15 tournament, I actually got selected for under 19s while I was still like 14, 15 years old. I went for under 19s. I didn't really play. I think I played one game, but then I came back, still played under 17s, and then I still played, I think, under 19s twice from there. And I think the next year, maybe when I was around 16, 17, I started training with the national team and actually started traveling with them.
Okay. Okay. So like after moving from the under 19, of course it means moving to the national team, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you make your debut for the national team? And how was that feeling, you getting onto the national team of Botswana?
So I made the national team while I was in between my second and third under 19 tournaments. So I first traveled with the national team in 2008 to Zambia. But unfortunately, when the president of Zambia, I believe it was Levi Mwanawasa at the time, had passed away, we had to come back home. And then the next time I traveled with the national team was in 2009 when I went to Singapore and Sri Lanka during the World Cricket League. I think it was Division 6 at the time. And that was my first time really traveling and watching the national team play. I didn't play any. No, in fact, I played one game in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was the warm-up leg of the tour. But then when I got to Singapore, I didn't play. I think I was 17 at the time. I had to miss about 3 weeks of school. You can imagine it wasn't an easy one with my parents and all that. But that was my first experience joining the national team. And since then, I went back to the under 19s, became the captain of the under 19 in 2010 for the qualifiers in Namibia, where we narrowly missed out, I think, in the last game, losing to Kenya, where we could have actually qualified for the global qualifiers at the time. That was probably the best under 19 team. It was that same bunch of guys who we had started that Young Guns with when we were in our early teenage, and we had all progressed together and played under 19. So we were actually playing as quite a gel team, and that's why we got so close at the time. So that was the height of our under 19 cricket and yeah, from there the progression into the national team was quite good. And I think by age 20, 21, I had already become vice captain. And yeah, the rest came quite smoothly after that.
Okay. So who are some of those guys you remember to have started cricket with in under 15 and are still playing for the national team up to now?
To be honest, it's not many. Right now, I'm 33, so you can imagine that a lot of them, they've had work commitments, they've had family commitments, and they somehow at some stage left. We can remember the names Wasim Tajbai, Nabil Master, Aditya Rangoswamy, left arm fast bowler. Yeah, but most of them, when they got to around 30, some of them in that team, they left the country going to school and didn't really come back. So at this point, I'm almost alone, still carrying that flag from back then.
Okay. So what formats in the game of cricket are played in Botswana?
At the moment, actually, just before I came here, it was more of a pre-season for us. We were playing a lot of T10 league games, just about to start the T20s, and then our main league format actually is 35 overs. We don't have a 50 over competition in Botswana. We have 35 overs and T20 as the main formats. So yeah, that's what we mainly play back home.
Okay. So how does it feel? What feel do you get when you get onto the pitch? Like when you cross that rope and get onto the pitch, what comes into your mind?
To be honest, the most overwhelming feeling that I get is I feel very blessed because I'm walking onto the field with ability given from God, and that's the first thing that hits me is that I'm very fortunate to be in this position, to be able to go do something that I enjoy doing more than anything, especially batting. As you know, it's what I love to do a lot. So it's an overwhelming feeling of looking forward to it because I look at it as very much as a blessing.
So do you visualize when you're getting into the team? I mean, onto the pitch to play.
I visualize well before. So I'm known back home, especially as someone who does a lot of research. So if we're going to play a team, I like to know who I'm going to play, what are the likely kind of bowlers we're going to face, the team and all that. So yeah, well beforehand, before the game even starts, I would have done my visualizations or done my predictions in terms of what most likely to expect. Of course, you can't know everything that's going to happen, but I do my best to sort of be prepared, especially mentally. This game is, as much as it is physical and it's skill based and all of that, but try to be as mentally prepared as I can for whatever challenge will come.
So how many international tournaments have you played? Have you featured in for Team Botswana?
Oof, that is, I try to count, but it's a lot because I haven't missed a single one since my debut, actually. So from when I first played for the national team in Sri Lanka was an unofficial one, but I think I eventually made my debut when I was 19 in 2011. So between 2011 and now 2025, or say the last one we played was end of 2024. I've played almost every tournament, maybe at an average of maybe 1 to 2 tournaments per year. So at this point, it must be maybe between 20 and 30.
Okay. So Karabo joining us on Square Cut Show. We are live in Kampala, Uganda, and the UK. You're in London?
No, I'm not in London. I'm just outside Bristol, which is about a 2-hour drive from London.
Okay. Oh, thank you for being on. So apparently, what I would like to know and find out is that what do you do during your free time apart from cricket?
During my free time, I actually enjoy spending time with my family and friends. My hobbies, I of course would love to watch a lot of sport. I love to watch a lot of live sports, so watching football. If there's any cricket going on, you can still find me watching cricket. Yeah, just having some kind of social life. I have a very small circle of friends, so I go and chat with them, sit with them, and just that's what I do to switch my mind off of cricket. I like going camping, so I like wildlife. So whenever I get the opportunity, I go into the bush. Botswana is known for our wildlife and conservation, so I love going camping there with the lions and the leopards and the zebras and all that, elephants. That's something I enjoy doing.
Okay. So one time, hopefully, I will come to Botswana, and then you take me for wildlife. So.
Yes, yes, always welcome, always welcome.
All right. So what I would like to find out how many international, as in professional cricket, have you played? How much professional cricket have you played? What teams have you played for? And tell us about the countries where you've traveled playing the professional cricket.
So I'll say The first time I maybe left Botswana to play some cricket is I came to the UK for the first time in 2017. That was after I had finished studying in the University of Botswana. I did a degree in mathematics and statistics there. And then once I was done, I had actually got my first contract in the UK. And I came here for a season, that time, 2017. And then another experience I got was I was called to play the Elite Player Series where I met maybe I think it was 5 or 6 Ugandans who had come as well. That's why I made friends with a few Ugandans there in 2019 in Singapore. And that was probably my first taste of, if you like to call semi-professional cricket, a standard that was really higher than what it is back home. And then in 2022, I played first-class cricket in Zimbabwe. I was selected by the Tuskers Bulawayo-based franchise to play first-class cricket. I played a couple of first-class games there. That was probably one of the personal highlights for myself in my career because, I mean, growing up in Botswana, there's not really any first-class structure there. I didn't really believe that that could happen. Uh, Personally, I'm a big fan of Test match cricket. That's my favorite format. So going there and playing some 4-day cricket was really something that I cherish and I really enjoyed so much. And of course, I've come to Uganda as well to join the T20 series a couple of years ago. So yeah, I've been around a little bit and got some experience from here and there.
What was that feel? How did you feel when you come and played semi-professional cricket in Uganda?
Oh, that was very enjoyable because, to be fair, our standard of cricket in Botswana, especially the local league, it's not the highest. So every time I get an opportunity to go outside and experience a higher level of cricket, it's always amazing. And Uganda, especially because I have a lot of friends in Uganda, it's always feeling like I'll go there and I'll always enjoy myself because I have people around me who I'm very familiar with. So that was an amazing feeling. I enjoyed my time there greatly. Funny enough, coming to Uganda is not always the best for me on the field. I'm still yet to do it. I think it's the one country where I think I haven't scored an international 50 having played there. I think every other country I've played in, I've scored some runs. So I need to come back and fix that.
Unfortunately, you missed the one that just ended in March, last March.
Yes, yes. I was probably busy with preparations to come over the side. I had to sort out visas and all of that. So, but there's always a next time, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's always next time, and I believe so. So, who are some of those players you played against too, and you felt like, wow, I've been longing to play alongside this player, like in associate cricket, eh? And here you go, you get chance to be in the same on the same team with
Mm.
that player. How did it feel, and what did you learn from that player?
I'll say the one that because he when I was coming to under 19 for the first time as a 14, 15-year-old, I remember Charles Waiswa. Because he's a little bit older. I remember him bowling, and he was bowling quite fast at the time, and I was watching the older guys struggling to play him. So once I got on the field with him, I really enjoyed that, especially in Singapore. You know, as a youngster looking at it used to be in in the Botswana team. Yeah, Waiswa, you know, like this guy is a tricky bowler. So once I got to face him and play him, especially meeting him in Singapore for the first time, he's someone that now I get along very well with. And Brian is a player that I also know from under 19. We were mates actually from then. We got to go to an academy in South Africa, I think, also just around the under 19 time. So he's a player that I've known for a long time. And to see him leading Uganda to the World Cup, that was very pleasing to see. It also keeps me inspired as well that some way, somehow, one day, it can also be me. You know, when you can relate to a brother of yours achieving such things, it's always very nice.
So, how did it feel like in Botswana when they saw Uganda playing its first match in the World Cup, West Indies?
Yeah, it was nice. It was good to see because of course, it's relatable because we played Uganda, especially that year. We played Uganda so much, so seeing all of them and seeing how they match up to that next level of cricket, it gives us now a better idea of what is really out there. We don't always get to experience it firsthand. Of course, I'd been to Zimbabwe. I'd gotten a feel of the standard then, but it was sort of short-lived. But then to see Uganda there, it was really inspiring because these are guys that we are familiar with. We've played against, of course, we know their skill level, what they're capable of, and to see them there on that level, on that stage, we were there up in the morning watching those games as well, following closely, trying not to miss a ball. So it was a really good experience.
Yeah, actually in Uganda, everyone is so excited, most especially the first game against Afghanistan.
Yes, yes, we were up there watching every ball. We didn't miss a thing.
We appreciate your support from Botswana. Actually, all right. So, what do you do apart from cricket? What other businesses or work do you do apart from cricket?
So, well, it's still cricket involved. So I do my own private coaching in terms of like other things apart from playing. I do my own private coaching. I probably, if anything, you can say I'm a one-on-one specialist. I like to take people one-on-one, develop kids one-on-one. I do some school coaching as well. And then I have my own small businesses that I do on the side. I ran a car rental for some time here in Botswana. And yeah, there's a few projects that I work on. There was a national newsletter that I was working on for some time. It's just about to get out. So there's a few things and projects that I try to push.
Thank you very much. Karabo live on Square Cut Show with Alpha Adoa. My name is Alpha Jeremiah, still live on Square Cut Show with Karabo from the UK right about now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you very much for being around and watching Square Cut. So let's get back. What has been your best inning so far playing for Team Botswana?
The best innings I played, the one that is the most memorable for Botswana, was actually the last innings I played before I became captain. It was back in 2015. We had played, I think, a World Cup qualifier T20 in Benoni, South Africa, and then afterwards we had to play a one-off 50-over game against Ghana. I had previously missed the T20 match against Ghana because I had picked up some hamstring issues. So then I went into that 50-over game, not quite at 100%, but I managed to get 5 dismissals and chase down. I think we're chasing maybe about 160 odd, and I managed to get an 80 or 90. That was the first time I felt so good at the crease. Of course, Willow Park ground is an international ground. The ball was coming on nicely and it was going nicely to the boundary. And I felt like that day I hit everything out of the middle. And then also because of what the game meant, it was a one-off qualifier for the World Cricket League where the winner would go to Essex in the UK to play in the WCL tournament. So that one-off game, I got 5 dismissals. I was still a keeper at the time. Yeah, I remember everything just going so smoothly because I was so determined. I'd missed the game against Ghana, which we had lost, and then to come back into the team and then get a man of the match performance to qualify our team to go to the UK. That's probably the most memorable innings I have right now for Botswana.
Right. So, when did you become the captain of Botswana?
I became captain in 2015. So after that Ghana match, I became the captain, and then my first game captain in the side was in the UK.
Okay. My name is Alpha Adoa. We're chilling with Karabo, Motlhanka. Welcome to Square Cut Show. We are live from Kampala, across the nations, across the continents, and right now speaking to him from the UK. So, would like to thank you very much, Karabo, and would like to find out who is your cricket idol in the associate cricket?
Uh, it's a funny question because, of course, I also play in the associate community. But one guy that I find inspiring, especially as a captain, is Gerard Erasmus of Namibia. I enjoy watching him play. I enjoy watching him lead the team because he's also someone that I know from a very young age. We have some kind of personal relationship, and I enjoy to see the way he leads the team and what he has achieved as well. I remember one particular innings when they had to qualify for their first T20 World Cup. I think he chased down under a lot of pressure against the Netherlands, I believe it was a few years ago, just before they played the first T20 World Cup in Australia. So yeah, he's one guy that I really admire and have a lot of respect for.
So, who is that best player you have played with so far in associate cricket? And what is something you admire or admired about that person's style of play?
That I have to say again, it has to be Ferrat. The way he commands his team. I enjoy his batting. I enjoy a good middle order batsman. Even though I'm a top order batter myself, I actually enjoy the skills involved in middle order batting and how you go about it, the different gears you have to go through, the way you have to read the game, and all of that. Yeah, he's probably, I would say, for me, the best associate cricketer we have, especially in Africa.
So apparently, where is Team Botswana so far in the T20 and 50 formats ranking?
I believe in the T20 rankings, we must be 49th or 50th in the world. We don't play any 50 over cricket, so we don't have any ranking in that regard. I think in order to play 50 over cricket, T20 ranking has to improve and get to a certain point. I'm not too sure exactly where, maybe somewhere in the 30s, just like how Tanzania and Nigeria, I think, are probably the closest African country to getting back into the 50 over format. So that's, I think, our primary goal is to try and improve our ranking so that we do then start playing 50 over cricket, because I think that's where a lot of development is missed out in those longer formats. Even though, yes, T20 is the main game we're playing right now, trying to get to a World Cup, but I think cricket does really develop when you play longer format games. And I was fortunate enough to play some in my life, but I'm really missing it big time. And luckily, I've come to the UK and I get to play some, at least it's 45 over cricket now.
What do you think can be done for Team Botswana to up in the rankings?
To be honest, I think we have sort of the same cry as associates. We all need game time, and especially game time against opposition that is better than us. I think the more you play, I think the way Uganda sort of made it to the World Cup was an example for a lot of us, is just keep playing matches. I think that's where you get to learn how to navigate your way through games, how to win matches from certain positions. And the more you play, the more scenarios you are in within a match. That's where you develop players. Players get to learn their own skills, their abilities, sometimes their shortcomings, and even learn their capabilities and what they're actually capable of within games. Games, that's where you get pressure, that's where you get tested. And the more you go through it, the better experiences you pick up to then use in the future. So I think it's all about game time, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. So, like the way you see Uganda when they're playing Kenya, it's like a derby. You get it.
Yes, yes. The
And you know,
Menjingo Derby.
and a lot of fighting, a lot of exchange of words, gets involved in the game. And I
Yes.
think those are kind of games umpires also enjoy officiating.
Yes.
Yeah. So, uh, which is your derby? Which is your derby team that you guys play against, and you feel like, wow, I think this is the best. This is the best cricket we are playing so far.
Oh, that's a bit of a tough one.
The derby
I
team,
think before when we were
the national
before
team.
when we, yes, before when we were growing up, we were much closer to Namibia as we were going through the age group uh, times. So that's the game we really used to look forward to. We used to say, yeah, we want to beat Namibia. So I think we did it once at under 19 level. And then we've also done it once at senior team level, even though we are, of course, a big distance apart in rankings and so forth. But that's one of the teams that we always look forward to because that's the team we really want to beat. I don't know if they really feel the same. And it does get, of course, spicy with the Namibians. I'm sure it gets spicy with the Namibians with any team that they play. So far, I think we're building up maybe a nice little rivalry as well with Malawi. In terms of Southern Africa, they got one of us recently, and our coach, our previous coach, Arjun, is also coaching Malawi right now. So I think that game you can also look at it as two teams who are feeling like they're quite close to each other, and on the day it just depends on who comes out on top. So I know they really want to beat us, and of course we don't want to lose to them.
Okay, so what's your best cricket venue you have played on in the world?
It has to be Willamore Park in South Africa, in Benoni, for two reasons. I think the first one being that it is an international ground, so the facilities are very good. The change rooms, you sit up there, you can watch the games nicely. The track itself is very nice, good pace, good bounce. It's a true pitch. So as a batter, I enjoy that when you play your strokes, you hit them on the ground. It's a carpet, so the ball runs away very quickly. And also when you hit in the air, even if you don't catch it quite nicely, you can still get your maximums in. And I've also played there quite a lot since those under 15 tours. We used to go to South Africa quite a lot. And yeah, it's a ground and I'm familiar with a lot of the people there. So when I play there, I actually feel quite at home and I've got a lot of success there. So yeah, that has to be my favorite one.
Okay, all right. So when you were playing, so what have been some of your best sledges? Eh? What's your best sledging memory when you were playing?
It's actually one from junior cricket, and at the time I was known by the name ones and twos because I never used to hit boundaries, and I also used to leave the ball quite a lot. As I told you, I'm a big fan of Test match cricket, and I remember one time I was leaving the ball quite a bit. Guys were bowling outside of stump, and one guy turned to me and said, "Bro, even when you leave the ball, it's ugly. I've seen better leaves in a tree."
Yeah. And did it trigger your mind at that time when they told you to?
Actually, funny enough, I enjoy a good sledge because it keeps me in the game. I'm someone at home, they like to say that I'm the last person you want to annoy on the field because then it really gets me in my zone. I remember playing first class cricket in Zim, and obviously being a boy from Botswana, they were really going at me and giving me all the sledges in the world. So it got my head down, and I ended up betting for quite some time because I didn't want them to get out and enjoy that feeling. So, but unfortunately, when they did stop sledging at some point, then I got out. So I enjoy it when the fielders are out because it just makes me a bit more determined to stay with them there in the middle.
Okay. Okay. So who in your opinion is the most naturally talented player you have ever come across in associate cricket?
That's a good one. One that I can think of off the top of my head, especially because it's more recently, I think for the Uganda's Robinson Obuya. I actually love watching him bat because he makes it look so easy. His hands are so fast. He's an attacking batter and he looks to play very naturally. So I would say he's right up there. I've obviously played with quite a few, but yeah, off the top of my head, he's one of them. There's a couple maybe back home, some guys who don't turn up for practice. One guy I mentioned earlier was Sim Tajbai. He wouldn't practice a single day, and then he just rock up and then just start scoring runs. But he was a natural athlete because he played football as well. So yeah, those are the two guys I can think of.
Okay. So as we're coming to our conclusion, uh, what are your remarks or what messages can you leave to the youngsters who really want to be there on the national team and talk about the drugs that are being used by the youngsters?
I'd like to say, first of all, in terms of trying to make a long career, somewhat successful career out of cricket, There are no shortcuts. There's no substitute for hard work. So keep your head down, your passion and your drive to push yourself all the time, to drive your fitness, to make sure your skills are up to par. Those things are things that come from within, and you have to be well driven. You have to want it. You have to be true to yourself, to be honest, and be honest with yourself that that's what you really want. You want to be a successful cricketer, and you have to give it everything you have. You have to sacrifice. Sometimes people will say you are wasting your time. Sometimes will say, "What are you doing with this cricket?" But you have to stay determined and be a believer of what is speaking to you and speaking to your heart about what you want. And yeah, it's not an easy road. Cricket is a very difficult game. There are very difficult times in the game, and yeah, to present its challenges. Those are long days, sometimes hot days, difficult days. But there's a lot of lessons also about life to learn from the game, and yeah, so it ties into the second part of your question where you say the ills of society. Cricket is first of all time consuming. So if you get into the game, it will naturally keep you away from some characters and some activities that are not so good in society, and it will keep your mind away as well from maybe thinking otherwise, because cricket has a lot of life lessons in it, hard work, patience, all those kind of things. The game will teach you. So once you get involved, I think naturally it will drive you away from certain things, and then you'll start to see for yourself. The more you work hard, it's not easy, because sometimes to see progress it takes time, but that's where patience comes in. And then those things that you learn from the game, the thinking on your feet and strategizing and all those things, you can then start to see that these things I can actually start to apply to my own life. And that's what I can leave youngsters with, is that cricket is a very good game. It's also gentlemanly. There's a lot of etiquette. It will teach you all those things that you can then apply in your life.
Karabo joining us on Square Cut Show. We are here live in Uganda and in the UK. So, what are your parting remarks, brother, before we sign out?
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak. I love speaking about cricket, so I'll never pass up an opportunity to have a word or two about the game. And yeah, looking forward. Obviously, we have qualified for the Africa finals for the T20 World Cup qualifiers. So yeah, looking forward to that. Of course, we'll be meeting some of the big boys in Africa and my boys back home and everybody around the continent. Just let's put in a good show in September and show the world that Africa is here to play.
Okay. So, Karabo.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on Square Cut Show. It's been a pleasure having you here, man, brother.
Thank you very much.
And are you willing to give us some time to talk about semi-professional cricket in the next episode?
Yes, of course. I have some experience with some structures and all of that, and I'll be more than happy.
All right. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. We sign out. I salute. Greetings to everyone there.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.